welcome back. We're unpacking a lot of parental rights and education issues. And joining me to do just that is Amelia Willis, spokesperson for Pay Parents as First Educators. Amelia, thanks for joining me again. Let's shift gears now. We're leaving Alberta. We'll go to Ontario, specifically to Toronto, where the Roseneath Theatre, which is a theatre in Toronto, is putting on a controversial play. But you have a school board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, that's actually encouraging their faculty, their members or teachers to go and see it. So what's so good about this play that all teachers should go see it, Amelia?
So it's a play called Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls. And the play is about a 9-year-old transgender student whose family is struggling to accept him for who he really is. So already, I think it's glaringly obvious what agenda this play is pushing, but the Toronto Catholic District School Board is asking and encouraging all of their teachers to go and see this. There's also an incentive to enter a draw so that each teacher's school could be the winner of a free performance of this play. And it is geared towards children in grade 4 to grade 8.
And so what are your concerns with this play? Why is this concerning to you?
Well, for starters, gender ideology has no place in schools. And this play is just a pure performance of this ideology. I don't, I mean, I could speak my opinion, but is it really necessary to show all of these details of transgender transitions to young children in a school setting? I don't, I don't think that's necessary. I don't know why the school board thinks it's their place to push their educators to see this in hopes that the students will also see it.
And so has there been pushback then from some teachers? Are they saying, forget it, we don't want to see it? Or are parents concerned?
So because it's just for the educators right now and it's not mandatory, the teachers can choose whether they want to see it or not. But it seems to be overall and not much pushback. PAFE actually contacted the board and had a conversation with the superintendent, who did not see an issue with this play and said it was in the stream of inclusivity, and that it was a positive thing for the school board.
Okay, let's shift gears again. We're going to talk about Josh Alexander and reminding our audience or viewers that is that young boy, I guess, the young man who in Ontario was basically suspended. Sounds like he's pretty much been expelled from school because he stood up and said and spoke out against gender ideology in the class. Share with us, just to give us a primer, what happened and where do things sit now? Because we haven't heard much lately.
Yeah, so he was suspended in November 2022 and arrested because he staged a walkout in defense of there being two genders and his female classmates who were uncomfortable by men using the women's washroom. So the school board's response was to suspend him, to have him arrested, and he has not been able to return to school since then. So he and his lawyer have been appealing for him to be able to return to school. And then in December 2023, the school board ruled that he could not return and the suspension was going to be upheld. But they didn't say why, and the decision was very secretive. And there still is no public message from the board on that decision. So currently, Josh and his lawyer are seeking a judicial review of this decision that the board has made.
So I find it fascinating on a couple components. One, I guess he's now probably 17. He was 16 at the time. You have this young teenager who, by law, is ordered to be educated until a certain age, and who now has been suspended and has, from what it seems, no access to education through his tax dollars from his parents. So that I find that very interesting, how these two things can coexist. Him wanting to go to school and the school board saying, no, you can't. The other thing is he was suspended over what? Declaring there are two genders. There's a lot of stuff happening in the school boards. We hear about bullying. We hear about a lot of anti-Semitism now going on since the Israel-Hamas war. A lot of things are happening, but two genders, I mean, that seems pretty milquetoast to me for a reason to suspend a student.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's definitely questionable reason, and the school board's lack of transparency on their decision is it definitely is even gives a lot more area for question,
Right.
and it is unfortunate because he's being prevented from from his high school education, and he should have a right to that.
We'll be right back.